Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
No, because I still have to run the video.
Okay.
Well, it's running live.
Good morning, good afternoon. No, it is the afternoon. It is the morning. It's definitely the afternoon. It'll be the morning somewhere in this wonderful world of ours. It'll be the evening somewhere in this wonderful world of ours. But as far as we're concerned, it's a happy day, aren't we, lads? Because welcome to the latest Gunners Town pub. I am Suburban Gooner Chris. I'm joined with a couple of lovely lads to chew the fat over a victory, a hard-fought victory by the end. So let's get the lads on and we'll dive straight into it. Gav from She-War, how you doing, sir? Good to see you again.
Yeah, no, nice to speak to you, mate. Yeah, no, it's it had its ups, it had its down, but we won, didn't we? Do you know what I mean? You can't be unhappy, can you?
We did indeed, and we're going to pour through every single second of it in a minute. But let's also introduce our next guest, which is Chris from Marble Halls TV. Chris, how are you doing, sir? You all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I have to agree with Gav and that. A win's a win, isn't it? 3 points is 3 points.
A win is a win. Two right. Right. So what we're going to do is take the normal amount of time. Hopefully it might go a little bit over because there's plenty to talk over, but we're looking at around about 30 minutes. I would like to start off by let's start right at the beginning and look at the team selection. So Chris, I'm going to start you off as our first guest because Gav always has too much to say anyway, so we need to minimize the amount of time that we get him on. But if you could just give us an idea of your thoughts when the team came out. I mean, I don't know about you, but I was a little bit surprised with some of the selections. And I'll just a reminder of the who started. So it's Leno in goal. It was Bellerin, Louise, Gabriel Tierney, El Neni, Ceballos, Willian, and Ketia, and then Aubameyang. But we also had Saka in there as well. So give us some thoughts on the lineup and also how you thought that we set up at the beginning of that match.
Well, I was kind of confused because I thought it was I had two thoughts. One was it was a 4-3-3 with Saka as a number 8 or number 8-ish. Well, /10-ish, so to speak, and Tobias on any behind him, and then obviously Willian, Eddie, and Alba up top, or just the normal back three, with Saka and Hector as the wing backs. But as we started, I think, from what I could see, is that Gabriel and Louise were kind of spread out at the start, so I couldn't really make heads and tails of it, to be honest, but I think it was probably just a bit of fluidity to some extent. But I think as we settled, probably more to the back.
Yeah. Yes, it was an interesting one, wasn't it, Gav? Because I don't know about you, but you've probably got some notes. You love a note, don't you? A note or two. But give me some initial thoughts, Gav, on that lineup, and also particularly, I guess, in possession and out of possession, because I think it shifted around a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, no, it definitely did. I mean, when I first saw it, I was a little bit shocked that Xhaka wasn't starting because he seems to be sort of like a mainstay throughout the whole of the season so far. So I was a little bit shocked about that, but I thought it was quite sort of attacking, really, with sort of El Neni playing sort of at the back. But obviously, I was wrong with that because Ceballos, mate, was almost playing like the quarterback, wasn't he, for most of the game. It was another one of Arteta's weird ones where you thought sometimes we're playing 4 at the back, sometimes we're playing 5, and in the first half, El Neni was pushing wide miles too much. I'm not sure whether it particularly worked, if I'm being honest, the formation we had in the first half. I think we didn't really start playing until the 60th minute when Pepe come on. I don't think the players were 100% comfortable with it either, but Arteta was trying to put more forward, skillful players on the pitch. I think that's what his aim was, really.
Yeah, I get that, and we'll come to Pepe in a second, and Gareth on Facebook, because we're live off of Facebook, has also made a comment about Willian over Pepe. But let's get to that in a second, because let's dig into that first half. So, Chris, at half time, had you fallen asleep, or were you still just managing to keep your eyes sort of pricked open with some matchsticks?
Well, yeah, obviously it was kind of both. To be honest, I'm not sure. Well, I think we just lacked edge. Obviously, we dominated the possession because at times we had about 73% possession, but obviously possession in itself means nothing. It's what you do with the ball that counts. And I don't know, we just lacked some edge. Possibly we lacked Pepe. Maybe if Pepe was on or had started the game, maybe obviously he does play in a wide position, but if he could have drifted in, he could have added a different dimension. But, Sheffield United, I think, didn't really come to test us like they did in the league game last season. So I think it was always made for us really to dominate the ball. But I think for whatever reason, we just lacked that zip in the first half. And yeah, I agree. It was one of the most dull and boring halves of football we played in some time. But, obviously we turned it on in the second half. But the first half, I think it was probably a mixture of Sheffield United being a bit more cautious because they were, well, they still are towards the bottom. They hadn't scored a goal before, obviously, a short while ago. So maybe it's a mixture of us being a bit limp and them being a bit conservative. But even still, I think we didn't really show much fight or impetus really in that first half.
Yeah. I mean, that first half was a bit of a challenge, and we've had again John Hickford from the Facebook page has said that they made hard. Thought they made hard work on a team that hadn't scored a goal this season, and certainly it felt like that to me. It felt like that first half we were just a bit slow and ponderous in possession. Sheffield United again, as John says, they hadn't scored a goal until today. They weren't really much of an attacking threat. And the only time when really there was any question marks, normally it was because of our own sort of mistakes that came about. And there was a mistake quite early on, wasn't there, Gav? Thoughts on the David Luiz that, interestingly, Sky Sports seemed to spend the entire time talking about and completely ignoring the Sander Berg challenge, which, again, we'll talk about that in a second. But, Gav, some thoughts on that? Red card, no red card, thoughts on the Luiz shirt pull?
Well, he's old enough to not bloody do stuff like that, let's be honest. I mean, nobody really wanted him. He shouldn't be doing that. And it would have been his own stupid fault if he'd got a red card for that. I don't think it was. I think Leno was there anyway. And I think it was miles too far away from the goal to warrant any sort of red card. So, but another ref on another day, that's given. But you know what it's like with Sky Sports. If we're going to balls up, they're gonna be all over it, and they don't mention anything else. It was like the Mane elbow on Tierney the other week that was just completely and utterly whitewashed and not even spoken about. But yeah, was it yellow? Was it? I don't know. To be fair, it's just one of those. We probably on one hand we got away with it, on the other hand it was a fair decision. It's just one of those. It's just down to the ref, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, 59.8%. So out of 440 people who voted on our Twitter poll that we ran just at half time, so that's 59% of people, so 60% thought that actually it wasn't a red card. My take on that is it almost felt like it was a bit of like an instant reaction from somebody. It was like he knew he'd been beaten, and his instant reaction, like it's like to just grab the shirt, but it was like for a split second. They at half time, Sky Sports started comparing it with the one that Sheffield United had, Egan, I think it was, sent off against Aston Villa. But then they played that one, and he had hold of the player for about 3 seconds, throughout the game. He's holding on to him as he's running back towards goal. This was a split second. I think it was the right decision. It's a yellow card, and you move on. But Chris, I'll get you to talk then quickly just before we move away from the first half, because I'm not sure there's too much more talking points on it. If I'm completely honest, there's an Aubameyang shot which was just tipped over. But talk to me about your thoughts on the Sander Berg challenge. Red card, not red card, yellow card? Was it one of those orange cards that Arsene Wenger used to talk about?
Well, my first reaction was that it was a red. Yes, I suppose you'd expect all of us to be biased, obviously, because it's our player and our captain and stuff. But I think even if there's no intent if it is a dangerous challenge, if it can injure somebody in a potentially bad way, then it should be a red no matter what. So
Yeah.
I think Sheffield United, to be honest, got one in that regard.
I think they got away with one as well, actually, to be honest with you. And so does 83% of 650 people that voted on our Twitter poll. So we had a second Twitter poll, which was, was that a red card challenge on Aubameyang by Berg or Berger? I don't know how we say it. Let's not get Gav to pronounce it. But Gav, just a quick one on that then. Some thoughts on that? Was it? What do you reckon?
Wet, slippery surface. I don't think he's gone out to do Aubameyang, even though he has. I don't think it was completely malicious or dangerous. I was more worried the fact that Aubameyang was going to get injured. That was my main concern. I think the ref probably got it right with a yellow, if I'm being fair. I know I'm going against the poll, but I think the ref probably got that right. He didn't. I'm all into, was it meant? If it was meant, or if it was completely daft and outrageous, then yeah, it's a red. But he didn't mean it. I wouldn't have liked it if one of our players got sent off with that. So sometimes you've got to throw your hands up and say it was just one of those sport events. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The thing that I think I tweeted this as well that really frustrates me, though, is last season, Aubameyang, a little bit late against the Crystal Palace. I can't remember who it was. The Crystal Palace player sent off as a result of VAR. If you're going to say, all right, that was dangerous, that was a bit reckless, sending off, I don't think there was many Arsenal fans that were saying, oh, do you know what? When you watch that the second time, that wasn't a red card. Most of it probably was a red card, if I'm completely honest with you. But again, we got the second one with Eddie and Nketiah last season with the Leicester game. Eddie's gone in a little bit late. They've looked at VAR, said you're off. So why is this? This is the issue that we've always had. That's the problem. I think we've got Nigel joining.
I'm no good with this new technology. I'm an old man. It's passing me by.
No, you're giving us feedback. You've got to turn the volume up on the other device.
Well, turn my volume up. Hang on. There. How's that?
Perfect. Oh, not perfect. Right. I think, Mike, if you can just mute yourself for a sec. Oh, there we go. Right, we're back. Sorry about that, ladies and gents, or those of you that are listening to us either through the Facebook page or through our live feed, the live stream that we've got on StreamYard. We're very delighted that you're here to be joining us. But we were just talking about the challenge on Aubameyang by Sander Berg. I think we're pretty much done on the first half, if I'm completely honest with you. We'll just give Nige just an opportunity. Just Nige, if you can, just a minute or two on your thoughts on the first half before we move on to the second one. And hopefully the feedback will get itself up.
Number one, I think he should have gone. I think that was dangerous and reckless. To me, his feet were up. It was dangerous. He could have really hurt him. I think in other games you'd see that as a red. I thought we were very slow in the first half. Personally, I thought, oh God, hang on. I thought we were it was very slow. It was very pedestrian, wasn't it? It was a little bit disappointing, really. I expected more, but I don't know. But I'll say one thing though. I thought El-Neni was okay. I thought he was very steady. It wasn't brilliant, but it was very steady. Do you not think?
Yeah, it certainly was. You can mute yourself when you're not talking.
Nige, if you can hear me, mate, at the moment we're hearing you twice, so you've got another device on that is getting feedback. So if you've got a pair of headphones or something, can you whack them on? Because otherwise it's just going to be feedback and squeaking the whole way, mate.
He's muted himself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the joys of live streaming. You get all of the exciting stuff. And just to let you know, when we do the Gunnerstown podcast, we've probably done about 20 of these now. Usually we get a little bit of editing time. But hey, this is live TV, so it's fine. We're dealing with it. It's all right. We'll get there in the end. Anyway, that was the first half. I think we touched on most of the first half. The only thing I'd probably say is that I think we were just wrapping up.
Slow in possession.
It was everyone trying. Nigel, cheers, mate. I think Arsenal as a team in that first half, everyone wanted to take a second touch. I think symptomised by the likes of Dani Ceballos, who is a archetypal type of player that wants a couple of extra touches, and I think that was really one of the things that we needed to shift up in the second half. All right, so we're sort of just over halfway in our broadcast, and let's move on to that second half and talk about the start of that. Chris, I'm going to bring you in to talk to us a little bit about your thoughts as to how we started off that second half, because the first 10 minutes was pretty much more of the same, wasn't it, until the substitution?
Yeah, it was. I was expecting Arteta to do something straight from half time, but obviously he must have told it. Well, I assume he must have told the side, like, step up the tempo. Maybe if he brought a substitution on that start straight from half time, it would have changed things. We probably just wanted to keep it the same, just so to give the players a chance. But I suppose in that way it was disappointing. But I thought it'd have been a bit more proactive in that regard.
Yeah, I think you can argue that, but Gav, I'll bring you in on this one as well, actually. I actually thought Arteta did quite well in terms of how quickly he recognised that there was a problem and changed it, didn't he? And that came with the substitution of Pepe, who, I'll be honest with you, I was surprised he came on so early, but I'm very glad he did.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was obvious, like, throughout the whole of the first half, that everything that we done that was good was going down the left side of the pitch. And we had absolutely zero going on down the right. So I think he's obviously told the players at half time that, Moore's got to go down the right, and he's tried to balance it out. He's given them 10 minutes to fix it. We didn't fix it. And so he's made the change. And I actually said to a couple of my mates, as I normally chat to on the WhatsApp group as we're watching the game at the moment, that the players actually looked more comfortable once Pepe come on. They actually looked more comfortable in the formation and the setup, and it was almost an immediate reaction, not just with Pepe making a change. It was an immediate reaction with the whole 11. The whole 11 perked up once he come on. So I think it was a substitution and a slight change of tactics, and I think Arteta's probably forewarned them at half time of what he planned to do. So
do you think he did that? Do you think he gave them the old you've got you got 10 minutes, I'm hooking you, mate?
No, I certainly think that if he said he must have said at half time, look, we're going to go out again, let's try this, let's try that. If it doesn't work, we're going to be looking at an early change. So maybe the players had that in their mind, maybe they knew that was coming, but the players, certainly, everybody, we just looked so much more comfortable once Pepe come on. It was unbelievable. It's like watching two different teams.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Do you know what I loved? As I said, the first half for me, what was the worst thing about the first half was how we were ponderous, and we always wanted that second touch. And suddenly, as soon as Pepe came on, there was an outlet. There was a player that wants to drive at teams. And I think one of the first real touches of the ball that he got the ball. He wants one-touch football. He wants it played to feet. He wants to find someone inside, and then he wants to give and go. And we saw that almost straight away. And it was a really fantastic goal. Nige, we'll bring you in on this one. Give us some thoughts. And lads, if you can mute so we don't get any Nige. Give us some thoughts on that first goal.
Pepe was definitely the difference. Pepe, I should say, was definitely the difference when he. I mean, the build-up to that first goal was superb on it. Fair play. But I'd have to give him a little criticism of Pepe. I think he needs to beef up. He's shaking off the ball very easily, isn't he, at times? It's just a personal thought. I don't know whether people would agree with me, but I'd like to see him to beef up a bit, get a bit stronger in his play. If you know what I mean, get a bit stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, made a hell of a difference. Obviously,
Yeah, sorry,
Nigel.
Mute yourself. Whilst I'm cheers, mate. Sorry. I see what you're saying. I'm a massive Pepe fan, so I'm always going to give him a little bit more support because I think he's an absolute baller of a footballer. But he can be strong at times. Sometimes he gets brushed off the ball. I just think it's his balance. It's the way that his body moves, because his body moves in unusual sort of positions, and that's what actually sometimes by him, the way he drops his shoulder or the way he shifts his weight. To me, sometimes that's what helps him to open up. And I thought the first goal that we scored, it was the first bit of proper football that we'd seen in that game. Quick passing, and the ball goes out to Pepe. Goes out to Pepe. He's quick touch, and then you've got Bellerin driving into the box. A clip over. Chris, give me some thoughts on Saka. General performance today, because I thought that was good, but also the goal he scored as well. What a week he's had, eh?
Yeah, he's had a good week. He's England international now. Too many Tottenham players there. We need to even the balance. But I thought today, well, I suppose in the first half, like all the other team, he was flat. But second half, actually in the first half, I think he did try on the left. His final ball wasn't good, but he was trying at least to get in the positions to get crosses in. But second half definitely did up it. And I think with the addition of Pepe, I did not give the entire team a boost. So, I was very pleased with Saka. Obviously, got the goal, and let's hope I sincerely hope he can be a top player for us for years to come.
Yeah, John on the Facebook page has just said, we need to remember this is a long-term rebuild. Progress is ongoing. I don't know if that's in response to Nigel's thoughts on Pepe, but certainly I thought that the change made a big difference, and he got the second goal as well. So, Gav, give us you must have some notes on this. Give us some thoughts on that second goal. What a special goal it was, eh? I liked it.
Yeah, no, especially, I mean, it was just one of those goals that I think we're going to be more accustomed to seeing, to be fair. There was a lot of swapping over, a lot of movements, a lot of first-time balls. It was a nice sort of bit of penetration inside the box. It was a lovely sort of dink. I think you can call it a dink from Bellerin, who just sort of dinks it in. And Saka, who you wouldn't expect him to be superb in the air, but he couldn't have placed that better. He was just standing there. He was on the spot, and he smacked it in. The defender didn't even jump. It was just a perfect place and perfect positioning. And I love Saka. I love the fact that he's been at the club for years. I love the fact he respects the fact that he's got the number 7 shirt, which, let's be honest, that's our famous numbered shirt. Yeah. So, the fact that he knows that, the fact that I think that when he signed his last new deal and they said, right, you're going to get 7, I think that meant something to him, and I'm hoping that meant something to him. So, it was just nice play. It was a nice goal, and after that, it was almost like we was trying to play a game of how many passes that we can put together before we scored another goal. So it kind of went quite nice after that for a bit, didn't it, Chris?
It certainly did. I thought that we were in control, and if I can just take a minute, or in fact, I might bring Nigel in, seeing as he's had a comment on the Pepe thing just in a second. But I thought, as you said, Pepe's arrival made a difference. He would drive at teams a little bit more, drive at Sheffield United a little bit more. I thought that as a structure, it felt a little bit more natural to us. I felt also that Sheffield United they were a bit standoffish on Pepe, and that's a good thing because he's picked the ball up and he's driven inside the box, and you could tell they didn't want to, because he's got such a quick turn of pace, because he can shift his body weight so much. It felt to me like they almost didn't want to touch him as he was going through, as he got inside the box. So, Nige, just give us some thoughts over the goal, on that Pepe goal.
Superb. The build-up was brilliant. He took it well. That's how you want to see the Arsenal playing football, isn't it? That's what we want to see, that type of football. I mean, the first goal was, I enjoyed the first goal, but I thought the second goal was superb. I really did. And I'm glad that Pepe scored it. It's got to do something for his confidence on it. I'd love to see him start more often, possibly he could do the start as he finished today. You know, playing Willian and Pepe with Aubameyang in the middle. You know, that seemed to that definitely worked today, didn't it? You know, it worked for the 2 goals. Definitely, it made the difference, didn't it? That was the difference, having M3 playing like that. I thought, you know, but I think the lad needs a decent run to get his confidence. You know, he you know, a couple of games, a couple of goals, and once, you know, is he one of them players? Once it starts sort of thing. You go back 20 odd years or with Bergkamp, you know, how many goals it took him, games did he play before he scored? And once he got the first one, we saw the real Bergkamp then, didn't we? You know?
Yeah, certainly. I think that what we need to see from Pepe is, I think, starting him. I think it's more kind of he's got to get up to speed this season. I mean, he didn't start the season. He's not come in. You've got the likes of Elneny, who has had as full as you can get pre-season, and that's probably why Arteta's preferring him. I also think that's why he's giving Holding more football, although admittedly he didn't play today. But I think that Pepe, I'm a massive fan. I think the way that he the way that he gives us something different, the way that he can drive at players, if he's confident. And I think I 100% agree with you there, Nige. The challenge that we've got is to keep a confident Pepe. I think he needs to be starting more. I think he will start more because I think, you know, we've got to remember that we've played 3 games in less than a week, and he's been subbed twice and he's made a real impact today. I thought he did okay. There were a few people criticising him during the week, but I thought he did okay against Liverpool. But today he really felt like he came alive. It felt like he had a point to prove as well. And Chris, I'll bring you in on this one. So thoughts on Pepe just before we then start to talk about when it obviously inevitably gets a bit nervous and Sheffield United score. But just some final thoughts on Pepe. Does he need a run of games in your opinion?
Well, I think he should start just as much as Aubameyang or Leno are mainstays in their positions. Pepe should be in his, in my opinion. You know, it's our record signing, and I think, you know, Pepe. Look, I agree with you, Chris. Pepe is a great player. He has great technical ability, but I just think he needs to. Well, he just needs regular game time so he can prove himself, because this is his 2nd season now, and it's kind of dangerous when you have a player, especially our record signing, who's still I think we have to be honest, a bit of a question mark. I think most of the fan base does rate him in terms of his ability, but he hasn't, if I had to grade his time at Arsenal overall, I'd say probably 6.5 out of 10. I think it's very harsh to say he's been rubbish, certainly not, but he's not fired as we thought he would, or probably as he should. So yeah, he just needs to be in the team all the time, get a rhythm. And, you know, if you know, football's just like stuff in life. You know, if you have continuous rhythm, then you start to become accustomed to get experience and get good. So Pepe, for me, needs that. And I think if he's in the side, then we can see the best of him.
Yeah, I would agree with that, certainly. I think, again, people used to say that about Aaron Ramsey. He needs 10 games before we actually see the real Aaron Ramsey. You know, maybe we just need to see a little bit more of Pepe. And, you know, as long as he's scoring goals and making assists, then that's great. Gav, how much hard liquor did you turn to when Sheffield United scored their goal? Because I thought we were pretty much in control until McGoldrick got... It was a good goal, to be fair, but I just felt like, you know, it seemed to knock us off our rhythm a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the problem with that, I mean, he got a couple of yards and he got a couple of yards sort of free, and he's let one rip, and no one's saving that. Just like the Tottenham keeper didn't save a Man United penalty. Man United got a penalty in the first minute. But I'm not complaining because they're hold on. Nope. Oh, I spoke too soon.
VAR saying no?
No, 3 minutes gone, and Tottenham have just equalised against Man United after Man United getting a penalty in the first minute. So that is just going to be a game of who's got the worst defence, I think. Anyway, what was the question?
I was asking you about that
hard liquor.
goal and how much hard liquor you went into.
It was one of those. I mean, we looked like we was cruising at points, and we was looking like we was going to sort of try and do a 30-40 pass goal, and we was just passing it around and sort of seeing where the gaps are going to merge, and we all looked very, very comfortable and all looked very sweet. And then that goal went in, and it was a little bit of the old Sir Alex squeaky bum time for the last 10 minutes. But I thought there's a chance we could get one on the break. And let's be honest, Sheffield United, they had 2 shots on target the whole game. One was the goal, and the other one, any one of us 4 would have saved it because it went straight down his throat. So they weren't, the defence done a good job. It was just a little bit of closing down on that one. But I'll tell you again, change things up, make the nails on, and we saw it out. But I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried that Sheffield United was going to get the second goal, if I'm being honest.
I think I was, but that's mainly just because I am a chronic worrier. I'm absolutely terrified the second that we concede, and as soon as that goal went in from a Goldrick, I just was on the edge of my seat like this. And the wife turned to me and she just said, "It's really hard for you, isn't it, being an Arsenal fan?" And I looked at her and just went, "You had no idea." I just feel like we just sometimes make it.
Wenger's gone, mate. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Wenger's long gone. Do you know what I mean? Once Arteta gets more of his players in, we seriously won't have to worry about that anymore.
Well, you're obviously a mentally stronger person than I am. I'm going to bring. We're reaching towards the end now of the show, but I just want to touch on one more player because I thought this guy had a really, really good game, and I'm going to ask Nige to give us some. Actually, I'll ask you all to give some thoughts on him. New signing Gabriel. What a rock he's looking like, eh, Nige?
Very impressed with the lad. Very, very impressed. How quickly he's fitted in, sort of thing. And he's only, what is he, 22?
Yeah.
Come to a new country and that. I'm very, very impressed from up to now. I know there was that thing in the first game, wasn't there, when he made that mistake. Yeah, it was him, wasn't it? The first game against Fulham, he gave the ball away, didn't he? And Fulham nearly scored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but since then, the lad's been solid. Very impressed with him. Very, very impressed. Yeah, a good buy, and you can only see him getting better, can't you? You can see him being a mainstay of our defence for a good few years. As long as we can keep him. I mean, obviously we've got to improve, haven't we? Or he'll want out, won't he? But I no complaints about him up to now, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, Nige.
You can mute.
Oh, sorry.
I agree with you. I think keeping hold of him will be important, but I think that's a bit further down the line at the moment. I mean, now we've just got to be pleased. What it looks like we've bought is a strong, imposing. He wins his aerial duels. He makes everything look a lot simpler as well. Again, Chris, I'll ask you on that one. And how much at ease does he make you feel when the ball is coming towards him? Gabriel, I'm talking about.
Well, I think he's done very well. In the games he's played so far, I think he looks comfortable on the ball. He looks comfortable in the air. He's not as comparing to someone like David Luiz. Luiz, I think one of his major faults is that he sometimes just doesn't look very confident when he's on the ball or sometimes in the air. But Gabriel's the opposite, and he's young. He obviously can develop. And hopefully he can develop into a capable centre back for us. I think the last decent centre back consistently we had was, in my opinion, Koscielny or Mertesacker. So if he can get to their level or beyond, then I think maybe. Well, our recent signings generally have not been that good. So hopefully he's an exception to that. And I'm very pleased with his contribution so far.
Yeah, certainly. And Gav, just as I'll give you sort of one of the final words as we wrap up. And also, I think we had a a question which went out on Facebook, which was something around 75% of people think that we're a better team with Xhaka in it. So just to wrap us up, Gav, 2 questions. Number one, general thoughts on Gabriel and his performance today. And then the second one, Xhaka, are we better with him in the team?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree completely with Gareth, who's put a post in the Facebook page. Looks like a decent centre-back, long last. And I don't think we've had a decent centre-back since Sol Campbell, if I'm being honest. I didn't like Koscielny. Mertesacker was very experienced, very good at his job, but too slow and not a modern centre-back. Mertesacker would have been brilliant in the 80s and in the early 90s. But like I say, we've struggled to get a decent centre-back. I think the pairing with Luiz is ideal because he's got someone next to him who's got the experience and can basically talk to him throughout the game. So it's looking like a nice centre-back pairing. The second question was, Xhaka.
Yeah. 75% of people think that, on our poll that we ran, think that he makes us better in the team, or we are a better team with him in it. Thoughts on that, just as we wrap up?
Yeah, I would like to say, as I said at the beginning, I was shocked that he didn't start the game, and I think it was more inclined to, for El Neni to sort of try and do his role and have a little bit more attacking flair on the pitch in the middle of the park. So I think we kind of almost underestimated how Sheffield United will play in a certain extent. But I do prefer Xhaka on the pitch. I think he's one of the 3 or 4 players that we've got that is guaranteed and should be guaranteed starting every game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Xhaka. I think I accept that he has his limitations. I accept that if we want to evolve into a team that's challenging for titles, it's probably not with Xhaka in it. But right now, he's an important part. He's an important cog in the Arteta machine. And on that machine, we picked up another 3 points. We go into an international break now with 9 points. And given that we play Man City away and then Leicester at home and then Man United away, I think in our next 3 games, I think there's some Europa League football in there as well. We've got a challenging schedule ahead of us. Hopefully, everyone who's listened in today can be joining us. It's been an absolute delight to get you all gents on and to talk the Arsenal post-match, immediate post-match pub chat. Once more, Chris, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers, man. Nige, thank you very much.
Gee, matey, thanks for having us. If I do it again, hopefully I'll get in on time.
And Gav, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great to finally have a little chat with my mate Nige, the sheep botherer. And yeah, like I say, we'll do it again, boys. Up the Arsenal.
Up the Arsenal. And